Hello everyone. In this lecture, we are going to discuss Article 13 of the Constitution of India. In the last lecture, we discussed what is Article 12, and it was very important to discuss Article 12 because it is important to know against whom the fundamental right is guaranteed to us. So, it is not like fundamental right is given to you against any private individual. No private individual can violate your fundamental right because fundamental right is given to you by the constitution against the state. And what constitute the state? Article 12 tells us, that is government and parliament of India, government and legislature of state, local authority and other authority. And in the last lecture we have seen that how the Supreme Court interpreted the word other authority and have given liberal interpretation of this word and widened the scope of the word the state. Today we will discuss Article 13, and Article 13 has four essential concepts. The first concept is that is judicial review. The second concept is doctrine of severability. Third concept is doctrine of waiver, and another concept is doctrine of eclipse. So we have to understand these four things which is there in Article 13 of the Constitution of India. Now what is Article 13? The marginal note of Article 13 is law inconsistent with or in derogation of the fundamental right. In the last lecture I mentioned that fundamental right is of utmost importance, and in the very first lecture of this constitutional law lecture series I have told you that there cannot be any law in a land which can violate the constitution, and not to mention the fundamental right. So all the law in a particular territory, and in our case India, all the laws have to follow what is there in constitution. No law can violate the constitution and let alone the fundamental rights. So Article 13 clearly talks about what will happen to those laws which violate the fundamental right. Now Article 13 has four clauses: clause 1, clause 2, clause 3, clause 4. Article 13 clause 1 talks about what will happen to those laws which were already in existence, that is immediately before the enforcement of the constitution. What will happen to those laws which are violating fundamental right and were already in existence immediately before the Constitution of India. So this is about pre-constitutional law, pre-constitution acts. Second clause, that is Article 13 clause 2, talks about post-constitutional, just a minute, let me find out the correct word. It is about future laws, you can say, constitutional law. So the second clause talks about post-constitutional law acts and statute and also future laws. Okay. Clause 3, Article 13 clause 3 talks about what do you mean by law. Article 13 clause 3 defines what is law. And finally Article 13 clause 4 talks about something related to amendment. है ना? So let's start. What is Article 13 clause 1? Firstly, so the core idea of Article 13 is to invalidate or to make void those laws which are against our fundamental right or which are violating fundamental right. Now understand this situation that in India we have adopted, enacted and gave to ourselves this constitution on 26th of November 1949, and this constitution essentially got enforced in the year 1950, 26th January 1950. It is not like that before this date, 26th of January 1950, there were no laws. It is not like this. we had many laws. Britishers had passed many laws, then our interim parliament passed many laws. So we had many laws, है ना. For example, Indian Penal Code ही मान लो. So even after independence, even after enforcing our constitution, we were following Indian Penal Code of 1860 only, right? We were following Code of Civil Procedure of 1908 only. We have Forest Act of 1927. We had Mines Act. So many acts are there which are still in continuation even after independence and even after enforcing our own constitution. So the reality is, we had many laws even before the enforcement of our constitution. Now, since we have our constitution now from 26th January 1950, so from this date we have to check that whether any law which is already in existence is violating fundamental right or not. Because if they are violating, we have to make it void, we have to make it invalid, because now it is constitution. No law can violate constitution. So we'll keep at one hand constitution and we'll keep on the other hand all the laws, and we'll check whether any law is abridging constitution or not, a fundamental right or not. So see, this task is not easy because we have many laws, है ना. So it is not like that parliament will sit and will go through all the laws of all the time and will check whether it is violating constitution or not. The method is, if a person feels, if somebody is feeling that this particular law is violating the fundamental right, then a person can approach the Supreme Court of India or to the High Court also, because this judicial review power is not with the lower judiciary but with High Court and Supreme Court, which we call constitutional courts. So any person who feels that this particular law or this particular provision of this law is violating fundamental right, then that person has every right to approach to the Supreme Court or High Court, है ना. And then if Supreme Court finds that yes, this law is violating a particular fundamental right, Supreme Court can hold that particular provision, either that particular provision or that particular law, as invalid or void. The correct term is void, है ना. So this is Article 13 Clause 1. Article 13 Clause 1 says, let me read it for you. And it only talks about the existing laws, that is those laws which were already there when we were adopting, enacting and giving ourselves our constitution. ठीक है? So article says that all laws in force in the territory of India immediately before the enforcement of the constitution, insofar as they are inconsistent with the provision of Part 3, shall, to the extent of that inconsistency, be void. This is the exact article, है ना. Somewhere you write, if you have Baer Act with you, somewhere you write here near to Article 13 Clause 1, doctrine of severability. That is, what do you mean when the article is saying that insofar as they are inconsistent with the provision of Part 3, to that extent such laws shall be held inconsistent. Now I am giving you a situation that Article 13 Clause 1 is saying that if there is a law and in that law there is a provision, there is a section which is actually violating the fundamental right, so no need to invalidate the whole law, no need to hold void the entire law, but just that particular provision or those particular provision, if there are more than one but not the entire law, just those provision you can hold those provision as void. Only those provisions which are inconsistent with fundamental right. No need to make the entire act as invalid or void, है ना. this is doctrine of severability, and there is one more thing in doctrine of severability, that see, there are two things. In many cases it would be easy to just make void only those provisions which are violating the fundamental right. This is case 1. Case 2 under doctrine of severability is those provisions of a particular law which are actually violating fundamental rights. Those provisions are so connected with rest of the act that if those provisions are held void, then there is no point of rest of the act, or maybe the purpose of that particular act or the object of that particular act will not be served without those provision. So in that case we will just make void the entire act, पूरा act ही जाओ, not just the provision but the entire act. ठीक है? So if that cutting is possible, just making void only few provision, those who are violating fundamental right, it's okay. We will keep the rest act alive and only those provisions will be held as void. But if it is not possible to keep that act alive without those provision, then we have to make the entire act void. This is doctrine of severability. We will discuss case laws also on this, but as of now let me proceed with Article 13 Clause 2. Now Article 13 Clause 1 was talking about pre-existing law, and Article 13 Clause 2 will talk about post constitutional law. कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के बाद जो लॉ आएंगे उसके बारे में आर्टिकल 13 क्लॉज 2 बताएगा. नाउ व्हाट इज दिस आर्टिकल? लेट मी रीड इट. द स्टेट शैल नॉट make any law which takes away or abridge the rights conferred by this part. So this is the first limitation on the right of the state, that is the state shall not make any law which violate fundamental right. ये पहला limitation है. And any law made in contravention to this clause, और अगर कोई law बन गया इन कॉन्ट्रावेंशन टू दिस क्लॉज, जो हम बोल रहे हैं स्टेट को नहीं बनाना है लेकिन फिर भी अगर बना दिया लॉ इन कॉन्ट्रावेंशन टू दिस लॉ, द क्लॉज शैल टू द एक्सटेंट ऑफ कॉन्ट्रावेंशन बी void. So it is two things. Firstly, Article 13 Clause 2 is saying that firstly the state shall not make any law which violates or abridge fundamental right. Secondly, it is saying if a law is made by chance, by mistake, if a law is made, है ना, in contravention to this principle, then such law will be held void only to the extent of those provision which is in violation to the fundamental rights. So in both the cases, even in pre-constitutional cases or pre-existing cases or post-constitutional law cases, we will try to keep rest of the act alive only. We will try to just make those provisions void which are actually violating fundamental right. But if it is not possible, then we have to just repeal the whole law, है ना, पूरा ही हटा दो. Now Article 13 Clause 3 is saying that law includes ordinance, order, bylaws, rules, regulations, notifications, custom, usage having in the territory of India. So when I say law, it includes everything. ऐसा चाहे वो ordinance हो, bylaw हो, rule और regulation हो, nothing can violate the Constitution of India. ठीक है? So law includes these things. Then we have Article 13 Clause 4, which is, again reading it, nothing in this article shall apply to the amendment of the Constitution. You know, there's a story behind this article, Article 13 Clause 4, and that story we have to read when we will be discussing Article 368, that is amendment to the Constitution. So the thing is, Parliament decided, political party decided, earlier prime ministers decided to take away few fundamental right, है ना. So they inserted this article in Article 13, this clause in Article 13 in the year 1971, after 21 years of enforcement of the Constitution. After 21 years, the Parliament inserted this clause in Article 13, and it said that nothing in this article shall apply to the amendment of the Constitution. They wanted to say that anything which Parliament does with fundamental right will not be considered amendment. But thankfully after this we have a case of Keshwanand Bharti, है ना, versus State of Kerala, and this provision was almost made toothless tiger in that case, where the Supreme Court proposed and propounded the doctrine of basic structure of Indian Constitution. So even though we have this clause, even though we have this clause 4 in Article 13, still it doesn't matter, because Parliament can never take our right, fundamental right. So even if it is saying nothing in this article shall apply to the amendment of the Constitution, doesn't matter, है ना, because we have now doctrine of basic structure. So with this, how is this related to judicial review? The thing is, Article 13 clause 1 and Article 13 clause 3 clearly giving this power to the judiciary, that judiciary can review the legislative work, है ना, and if judiciary finds that those acts and statutes are in contravention to fundamental right, judiciary can uphold the law as void, है ना, ऐसा हो सकता है. So ultimately, to protect our fundamental right, the power is in the hand of judiciary. That's why this section, this article is also called as a powerhouse of judicial review, है ना. And also there is one more thing, there's just one line comparison between Constitution of India and Constitution of America. So in Constitution of India, we have this powerful article, that is Article 13, which gives judicial review to Indian courts, Indian constitutional courts. A lower judiciary cannot do this. But we do not have such kind of provision in the Constitution of America. Even though they have bills of right, but they don't have any explicit provision mentioning that the court has such right to hold any law which abrogates the fundamental right in America as void. But this thing was highlighted in the case of Marbury versus Madison in the year 1803, है ना, and in that case it was held by Justice Marshall. This case is like क्या ही बोलूं, it's very landmark. When you will study judicial review, the whole concept of judicial review comes from this law, है ना. जब एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव लॉ पढ़ोगे तब तो ये पढ़ना ही है, मार्बरी वर्सेस मेडिसन. तो in this case, Justice Marshall is saying that certainly all those who have framed written constitution contemplate them as forming the fundamental and paramount law of the nation, and consequently the theory of each such government must be that an act of legislature repugnant to the constitution is void. तो ये बोल दिया गया कि such law cannot be passed or such law cannot be upheld if it is in violation to the constitution. So thanks to Justice Marshall for saving the power of judiciary and for curtailing the arbitrary power of the legislature, है ना. Then in India we have a case law of A.K. Gopalan versus State of Madras. Year is 1950. We'll discuss it. Let me just give you one thing. In constitutional law, be ready for the case laws. You have to learn many case laws, like more than 100. So for each topic we have case law, and if we will start article 14, 19, 21, it is all about case laws. ठीक है, तो be mentally prepared for case laws. Now, in A.K. Gopalan versus State of Madras, AIR 1950, the Supreme Court of India is saying, in India, it is the constitution that is supreme, and that a statute law to be valid must be in conformity with the constitutional requirements, and it is for the judiciary to decide whether any enactment is constitutional or not. तो तीन बातें बोल दी. जस्टिस कानिया, वेरी रेप्यूटेटेड जज, जस्टिस कानिया ने तीन बातें बोल दी इस जजमेंट में, A.K. गोपालन वर्सेस स्टेट ऑफ मद्रास. ही इज सेइंग दैट in India, constitution is supreme, and no statute can be valid if it is not in conformity with the constitutional requirement, and it is the task and responsibility of judiciary to decide whether the enactment is valid or not. तीन बातें है ना. Then in the case of Keshwanand Bharti versus State of Kerala in the year 1973, it was said that judicial review is the basic feature of the Indian Constitution. है ना, क्योंकि पार्लियामेंट ने by inserting Article 13 Clause 4 made judicial review, it made that any change in fundamental right will not be considered as amendment, like this they said. So Supreme Court said even the judicial review is the basic feature of the Indian Constitution, basic structure of the Indian Constitution, and no law, no amendment can be made to abridge or violate this. ठीक है. Then we have L. Chandra Kumar versus Union of India. The year is 1997, where the Supreme Court is saying the power of judicial review of legislative action as vested in High Court by Article 226 and vested in Supreme Court by Article 32 is a part of basic structure. So again reiterated the same thing, है ना. अब there is one concept, that is no retrospective effect, and then we have to discuss these doctrines of severability, eclipse and waiver. So these few things are remaining. I am thinking to continue this in next lecture. So this is just part 1 of Article 13. Okay, see you.